Hey everyone, just doing some actual revisions on the plane today, showing you how I technically use the gaming equipment here while I'm designing in AutoCAD Civil 3D. So right now I'm making just some revisions, so some grading features, moving some feature lines and polylines around. I've actually programmed on the Razer the Razer Tartarus V2 keyboard on the left here. I've actually set up some macros. I've recorded some of the AutoCAD Civil 3D commands. So like right now I'm doing radius. Okay. I got a little music in the background going on. So the shift right click option, if you don't know, on the shift right click, it comes up on screen. So I made it into this button right here for my thumb for the shift right click now. So when I hold down that button, I don't have to hit the shift button here on the keyboard. I use the thumb button here on the Tartarus keypad. I got a little kind of lo-fi music going on in the background. Hope it's not too overwhelming. Let me turn it down a little bit. Okay. Look like I haven't done the undo button yet, command it yet. The button here on my 10 is actually my delete button. So I'm kind of grading around a building right now. And I still use a keypad to actually record input my numbers, but I could do it hitting the shift button and come in here and add my number sequence. Let's see, I think it's the green one for me. Yes. So yeah, if I shift the button here on the 2D button on my the Tartarus button, this 2D button shift, it shifts to a different set of macros. So now I'm in a number key. So I can teach myself to use the number keys, and it's set up to match the keys over here. So so you can see I got 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, and then the commas and the decimal and 0 over here. So yeah, I could do it on my left. when I need to input some numbers. Some people may ask me, well, how long did it take you to, teach myself in my left hand set of macros? One option you can do is you can set these up here to match over here. So these keys would be set up the same way over here. Or what I've done is I tried to pick the most commonly used commands in Civil 3D. It's like offset, trim, delete, extend, move, copy base point. These are all kind of set up. Hatch, join. These are basic AutoCAD commands in here. And you could do the same thing with Civil 3D. Say, hey, create profile from object. You can record that as a macro in the Razer application. It records the command, and then you can save it as a one key option. So, all right. Now, I've made some major changes in my grading here, so I'm having to move a lot of feature lines around. I'm going to have to kind of regrade this area. And typically when I do a lot of regrading, I'll typically just turn off the automatic surface rebuild. So let's see in this round, let's see if I can teach myself to use the number key on my left hand for all inputted number values. Let's see how much I'll struggle. All right. Like I mentioned before, it does take some practice using your left hand to input a lot of commands. But if you notice here, I haven't been using my keyboard that much. Now you're probably finding it a little boring watching me design, just watching my keystrokes, input values on my keyboard. I typically prefer my at-home ergonomical keyboard. That's a split keyboard. Than the gaming. The only reason I'm using the gaming keyboard is try to match the aesthetics here of the equipment. And I also like the lights. The only thing about the ergonomical keyboards, there is no lights, RGB lights and stuff. So, all right. Oh man, there was a lot of design changes. I've moved all the landscape islands. So I'm gonna have to kind of regrade all this. You know what? I forgot to save this. Back up. Every time I do major design grading changes, I'll create a backup just in case. Now, as you can see, I am using, if you don't know, I'm actually using Civil 3D 2026 right now. I never wait for fixes and stuff like that. I mean, there's never been a version where I couldn't use. You know, people say, oh, I got to wait for years and wait for, you know, service packs and stuff, but I've never had to do that. And I've been doing this as a CAD manager and stuff, releasing new versions since 2008 or 9, you know, so there's nothing that's ever hindered me from not being able to design in Civil 3D. So that's just my opinion on that. So I know some people are still using the old excuse like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wait for the service pack. That's, you know, the first release is always bad and garbage or buggy, but sorry, I don't see all the bugs that most people assume they're there. And besides, since I'm on the beta team, or this beta team, I typically will play around for 6 months, look for if there are bugs, and fix it and find workarounds for it. So I think it's what all CAD managers and BIM managers should do, is be on the Autodesk community feedback team and providing feedback, fixing if there are any bugs that would affect your company workflow and design. So the only time I've ever saw a bug that actually affected something I did, that had to do a major kind of work around, there was a pipe network issue in like a 29 or 11 version. That's how far back I'm having to go back to think about something that really actually truly affected me. But there's nothing been in any releases recently in the last 10 years that caused me to sit there and wait for service packs, you know. So all right, right now I'm just moving a bunch of feature lines and polylines, changing some radiuses. All right, I'm getting somewhere now. Now it looks like I need to create a macro for audit and dash purge. Even though I did create a video on here with the, let's see here, I think it was the action recorder. Yes, I don't have it saved here, where I created an action recorder where it ran audit and purge, you know, in sequence, both together as one command with one click. So yeah. Now I haven't quite gotten the joystick yet and assigned anything here, so this is not really, it's filtering through commands. You can't see on the screen, but when I go down, I think it's looking at all the previous commands. So it's kind of it's going through my command list. I think it's the most recent commands. So when I use this button here on my Naga Trinity. So this button is really just shifting through different groups of macro commands. Okay. But remember, over here, I'm also got buttons over here that I could use. I think at one point I actually use, I'm on the Logitech Hero 502, G502. And so there's a button right here that I did assign save. on there. I can hit save, or maybe the good button to assign it is the explode. You can explode something. So think about something that you can use often. Okay. All right. There are 2 more buttons here that I haven't quite. I think I'm still using DPI mode for these 2 buttons here, and then there are also 2 more buttons right here. So there's 2 buttons right there. So these you can actually use as maybe a save button. That might be something you want to use, or undo. So maybe an undo. This can be an undo button on your Logitech. So, but yeah. I'll create some videos where I'm going to use the Logitech application. There's a software that goes with it. And then over here to the right is the new one I ordered. This is the Corsair. I think this is the Dark Horse. So much heavier. Okay. And then later on we'll talk about the 3D Connects, which is, it almost feels like 2 pounds. It's a very, very heavy mouse. I've never felt a mouse. And then this is the mouse that goes with it also, with the 3D Connects and stuff. So that's coming a little bit later. So now I'm sure some of y'all might be asking, like, do you go on the gaming keyboard and assign other macros on the gaming keyboard and stuff? I haven't got that far yet in assigning other shortcut commands on this gaming keyboard. I think this is the Black Widow. Yes, Black Widow Pro. It is wireless. I just lost the USB. That's why it's actually the cord is on there. I can't find it, so I have to order. That's why it's plugged in and stuff. So, yeah. But yes, you're probably wondering, why am I using a Logitech or have a Corsair? Where's my Razer that can go with the complete set of the Razer, and then the mouse pad behind it is the Razer also. And then this is also a much bigger pad. It's also a Razer. So, and then of course, the microphone I'm using here is my Elgato, which I love. It has so many little third-party applications and stuff. So, love the Elgato. Now, if I want to do more of a podcast, I can actually use up here up top. Is my Blue Yeti on a arm. So, but yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to hit save here. See where I'm at. I'm having to kind of regrade half my site here. There's a building footprint change, and it changed my landscape islands and sidewalks. So yeah, there's a lot of drastic changes I'm doing right now. All right, so I'm going to pause here. I'll do another, maybe like a live streaming of me. You can see me or maybe see my screen while I'm using the keyboard and stuff. So, all right, but thanks for watching, everyone.